In the jungle, welcome to the jungle. Nah, I'm just playing. Woody Pizza here. Hope your day is going well. My day is not going too bad. I'm joined here by a special guest, Mr. Ringo Starr. He's going to keep me hydrated. Stay hydrated. As for today's topic, I'm going to be reading about an experience that I've had in my past, and I want whoever's watching this, if you're going through certain traumas and you don't know how to overcome them, I hope that this motivates you to seek whatever it is that will help you overcome, because you are stronger than you ever know. And maybe sometimes you just need to hear something that resonates with you. So this video does deal with an active shooter, so if you do not wish to hear that, I completely understand. Consider this the trigger warning. As for those who want to hear my story, here's going. Survived an active shooter, and it was the best thing that ever happened to me. If you notice I'm looking down a little bit, I have a prepared script. If I try and improv this, you're going to see how much of a spaghetti noodle my brain really is. So it's best to come prepared instead of... Anyway, here comes my story. November 27th, 2018 was a Tuesday and began as the usual. I was employed at a window manufacturer named Cascade Windows, located in Spokane Valley, Washington. My employment consisted of caulking the inner edges of vinyl frames and inserting the glass into said frame before it's making its way to our loading docks and to be shipped off to the company's customers. The morning productivity meeting had taken place, and we were off to produce the windows. My workstation consisted of carts that I would log over to my area, and after doing so, at 6:30 a.m., 30 minutes into shift, boom, pop, pop. Perceived as malfunctioning equipment, would continue work. However, one of my coworkers knew those sounds anywhere. Those were gunshots, he told us. Yet he was laughed off, including by me. Little did I know. The evacuation call was initiated. Mental fog. What is happening? Evacuation call. Coworker says those were shots fired. People panicking, running. Hard to breathe. Fight or flight is such a strange occurrence. Slow motion people experience is 100% true. The only thing racing is your heart rate. Legs are finally working. Go. Get out. Get out. Get out. I don't want to die. I'm only 23 years old. Run now. After having that 2-second awareness alert, my body bolted to the nearest fire exit. Where to now? Everyone gathered in the outer parking lot, called their families. A tired yet surprised voice answered my call. It was my mother's. Mom, there is an active shooter in the factory. Whatever happens, I love you. That's all I remember saying, and having made the same call to my father. Upon receiving that information, my mother relayed it to my stepfather, who was a manager for the company. In a moment of blur, word was put out that the shooter had left the premises, and we were put back to work for 30 minutes. Is the shooter still here, or did he actually leave? Is there a bomb in the building? Why are we still here? Why did that happen? The authorities ordered the area to be secured, and the employees were cleared to leave. The memory of my drive home does not exist. Nothing was said. Nothing could be said. My stepfather, being a manager, his inquiry found that the shooter was aggravated to do his act because of threats to his wife by a fellow employee. He needs to be taught a lesson, said the mind of our Emmy Award winner. 6 shots, 1 in the foot, 1 in the knee, no deaths. I can't remember anything from the days following the incident. A daze full of haze. What do I do now? PTSD didn't hit immediately. That came gradually. Within a month, a recurring nightmare would haunt me for the following year and a half, where the gunman would chase me. Sometimes he got me, sometimes not. I couldn't sit in public spaces such as restaurants with my back to the door. I had to see them. I had to see who was coming in. A giant onset of depression followed. Try to get through, try to bounce to it. Who could I talk to about my mind or how I lost it? Lost? Lost hope? Lost motivation? Lost myself. Fear dictated my everyday life. How do I beat the paranoia, mistrust? How can I forgive those responsible for plaguing my brain like this? PTSD in those moments lets you keep your wings, but eliminates your sky. However, I didn't lose my will. Through 6 months of continuous inner turmoil and wars, I began to see a bleak light. Bleak, but a light. Crawl. Walk. Run. Reach that light. Don't stop. Don't stop. Don't stop. The consumption of my sanity was not to be permitted any longer. I would not let that boogeyman win. He couldn't win. The constant Mind Olympics pointed me to a valuable outlook. I was stagnant, and that event ripped the veil off my eyes. Reality, as I knew, did a total 180 turn. My choice was embrace the future or get left to wallow in self-pitied past. My father, before the shooting, recommended a military career for me. I laughed at him. A year later, in June 2019, I made a voicemail to my local Navy recruiter that would start my transition to realizing the shooting was maybe the greatest thing that ever happened to me. Only time and moving forward will confirm that for now. Following Wednesday, after making the call, the recruiter invited me for an appointment screening, and I accepted. What did I have to lose? The meeting went on without a hitch, and another one was scheduled. My perspective was changing. A year earlier, I laughed at my dad for even suggesting a ridiculous and silly idea. Yet my ass was in the recruiter's chair, listening to the same sales pitch he's made to many others before and after me. Life maybe would be okay, if not with some push and grind. Fast forward to February 4th, 2020, Recruit Training Command, Chicago, Illinois. Get off the bus and don't step on the flags. A phrase anyone in the Navy will remember and meme on. Am I finally sleeping? One thing I noticed after 2 days of no sleep and I was finally able to rest, Emmy Award winner in my nightmares stopped appearing. He vanished. Something's taken his spot. My RDC's in that moment. But my future in the long run? An achievement that was greater than myself. Perhaps two. Birth of my forever and the death of my PTSD boogeyman. The sense of accomplishment and pride in being bestowed the title of U.S. Navy sailor overwhelmed anything in that moment. April 3rd, 2020. My life has just begun. If I could achieve this, maybe I could achieve anything. PTSD was on its way out. Over time, the change of ambition was occurring to where I couldn't be stagnant. I had to be progressing. Move forward or be damned. I lost hope, lost motivation, most importantly, lost self, was returning in gains I've never experienced. Let's fucking go. The journey to my best version had just begun. I secured my future with a stable career, though being a life or not would determine itself. It not only secured that, but allowed to follow passions within myself that I did not realize yet. Courage was located within me that I did not know I had. Refusal to allow self-doubt would become the priority. I began exploring multiple cities in the summer of 2020 while stationed in Lemoore, California. Man, do I wish I was a travel vlogger then. New sense of confidence soon followed. And I was finally living life on my terms, unapologetic, self-loving, PTSD free. Trusting my gut motivated me in ways I never believed possible. The continuous strive for my passions and excellence always pushes me to fulfilling my goals. It all led to this channel's creation. Meeting like-minded people with similar interests excites me as it's an opportunity to learn and improve my craft. Don't let past traumas dictate your existence. You are far stronger than that. Embrace proper spirit and mind. The results will soon arrive. We are only here once. Fear will overpower if it is allowed to. Fuck that. Trust in yourself, even if nobody else does. You know your worth. Show it to the world. Prove them wrong. I am a survivor. I survived an active shooter, and it was the best thing that ever happened to me. Peace be with you. Thanks for the pepperoni. Weed Pizza out.
Have a good day.